What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aidan Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. Yes, we had some technical difficulties there for a second getting the camera to work. But hey, I am your momentary guest host, Dan O'Damas, and I am here to foretell the future of this weekend's contest. That is correct. The Lions of Detroit shall fly a very long way down to Texas, and they will maul. They will go in there and maul, do much mauling on the Texans, who are out there to try to save their season and try to keep their quarterback standing up. But what they do not know is these Lions have claws, they have teeth, and they will bite in deeply onto C.J. Stroud many times. Dan O'Damas, it looks to the basketball of fate. And where's the towel of destiny to foretell to you this, that C.J. Stroud will go down not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times. You say no, 4 times, but that is correct. 5 times he shall be sacked. And yes, it will be a very humiliating loss that many Texans fans will cry as they leave the stadium. And yes, Jameson Williams, it will return to the field, and he will come out and record a 132-yard performance through the air. Jared Goff will complete over 78% of his passes, and that is correct. You are wondering if the Lions will win. Well, I will tell you that the basketball of fate, as I look into it and veer into the future, tells me that the Lions will record a 37-24 victory on the road to improve their record to yet another win and still only 1 loss. And that is what the basketball of fate and the towel of destiny have foretold me. And now you are also wondering who will lead the team in interceptions. And did you know that Brian Branch will be really upset because of what happened last week? And he's going to say, I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick 2 passes. And then that's correct. Jack Campbell's going to come out there and he's going to talk real tough. And he's going to get not just 1, not just 2, but 10 tackles. This dude's going to be a tackling machine out there. That is what Dan O'Damas is here to tell you. And correct. That is what will happen this weekend. Book it, Dano. Mwah! Well, thank you, Dan O'Damas, for making your weekly guest appearance here, and let me go ahead and hand you your basketball fate. All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your now host, once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us and hearing what Dan O'Damas had to say, even though apparently the hairdo of Destiny has been a little set off course there. But anyways, we got a great show for you guys today. We got a special guest at the bottom of the hour, and we do have a bit of a burning topic to talk about. Some of you guys probably watched Woodward Sports yesterday. I was wondering why they would be talking about Aidan Hutchinson coming back. And you know what? This morning when I got up, I think I found out why. So we're going to dive into that because there is a report from both the Athletic and the New York Times regarding Aidan Hutchinson. So we might be getting some good news as Detroit Lions fans. But before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything for this weekend, let's get through a few real quick topics. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, if you would be so kind, if take a moment and hit that thumbs up button, that like button. We try to get every video between, we'll say 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. Also, we're trying to get the channel, if possible, to 10,900 subscribers, and we're about roughly 81 subs away, right in that range. So if you could help out with both those, that'd be great. Last but not least, if you are considering maybe buying something to read for the upcoming holiday weekend or a gift, go to Amazon.com or wherever you buy good books and order Kajora book. If you like historical fiction mixed in with some fictional settings, go ahead and, historical fact along with some fictional characters. Go ahead and check this out. It involves Native American and Japanese cultures. And if you would like it, go ahead and consider leaving a kind review. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get up to speed. Let's go over and get over to the first segment of the show, and that is 5 Headlines Now. Who doesn't need a towel of destiny in their lives? That's what I got to ask you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going. 5 headlines now. Zadarius Smith gets his Lions jersey number from a new teammate. USA Today, story by Jeff Risen. A lot of people were asking this actually yesterday and maybe even the day before. Smith comes in normally wearing number 99. Obviously, that was Broderick Martin's number, but Broderick Martin said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do you a solid. You're a vested veteran. I'm going to let you go ahead and have that number. In return, this I was a little surprised by because Martin, as you guys know, wore 98 his rookie year, then switched to 99. He's now going to take over number 96, and that was the number of defensive tackle and now injured reserve for the season. Kyle Pico, who's out for the season, also wore 96 at the start of the year, but now that's going to go to Broderick Martin. So a nice move by, I guess you could say, the second-year player, helping out the vested veteran with that. All right, members of the Lions secondary get recognized with cool honor at Ford Field. Yard Barker story by Kenneth Broadwell on this one. So let me see. Basically, I'm just going to walk you through. I'm not going to bother bringing it up on the screen. But the outside Ford Field, they're going to go ahead and set these big mural up or wrapping, or I guess you would call it, on the building for the Lions secondary. And it's a Lions secondary. I think we all get it. They're having a pretty dang good start of the year. They're going out there and doing things most probably didn't really foresee out of the Detroit Lions secondary. Did you guys know the Lions secondary is actually one of the stickiest in all the NFL? They've got a lot of good grades, and not just from PFF, but various different institutions are coming out and talking about just how well the Lions secondary is doing in man-to-man coverage. Obviously, the safeties they've got to be considered the best tandem in the league. But they are going out there doing a lot of good stuff. And let me see if I can pull up some stats here for you in regards to just Kirby Joseph alone. Kirby Joseph is the first Lions player to record a pick six against Green Bay since 2000. First Lions player to record a pick six at Green Bay. Since 79. And first Lions safety to log a pick six at Green Bay since at least, man, there's a lot of firsts here, since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger. So, a lot of different stuff there. Brian Branch in his second season has also excelled since moving to safety. Although Branch had a eventful moment last week when he was ejected for his helmet-to-helmet hit, it doesn't overshadow his impressive play. The hit, initially flagged for unnecessary reference, did get him ejected. He did go out and have a moment as he was walking off the field, but he is playing at basically an elite level. Branch has earned elite grades from Pro Football Focus, with a 93.3 in Week 6 versus Dallas, 92.7 Week 7 versus Minnesota, totaling 8 tackles and 3 takeaways, including 2 interceptions in those 2 games. Terrion Arnold, a rookie, and playing perhaps one of the most difficult positions in the NFL. Hey, let's give him some credit where credit is due. The rookie cornerback has also been impressive. After some early struggles with penalties, Arnold has cleaned his game up, showing improvement in coverage and discipline over the last few weeks. You've seen the penalties drop exponentially, and he is starting to emerge as a bit of a playmaker. That the secondary could also get some added boost, as we're all aware, with potentially the return of Ife Melifanu and then Emmanuel Mosley. Those two come back. I'm going to say it right now. The Lions will have the deepest secondary in the entire league. I don't think there'll be any question about it. The real question is going to be to bring these guys back. Who do you get out of town? Who do you cut from the team? That's not going to be an easy thing for probably anyone to handle because you've got some real good depth on this team. You've got some good talent on this team. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Jared Goff's stats shows why he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. LA Times story by Lorenzo Lesman on this one. Somebody I'm not aware of as far as his writings, but we're going to dive into this. You know, Jared Goff, we get it, man. He is completing passes at a rate nobody thought would be possible. If you guys go back and remember Drew Brees, the Hall of Famer Drew Brees, back in 2018, in 16 games, he completed just under 75% of his passes. And that was an NFL record, or is an NFL record, I should say. Going through that many games, throwing the ball that often, and completing that percentage, that's pretty dang tough for defenses to handle if you're that accurate. Goff leads the NFL in completion percentage. Let this sink in. It's 74.9 through his first 8 games. If he maintains this pace, he will break Drew Brees' record. And just, hey, kudos for him, but he's putting up so many records, so many stats this year, and there are still going to be naysayers about Jared Goff. I think we all get it as Lions fans. There are some that, hey, you just love Matthew Stafford so much, you're blind to anything good about Jared Goff, and that's up to each of you if you like him or hate him. I'm not here to debate that, but what I can say is Jared Goff right now, as of this season, has already set 8 NFL records, and he potentially could set several more before the end of the season. Let that sink in. This league's been around basically 100 years, and you've set 8 NFL records in one season. You're doing something right, man. You're doing something real right. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Joshua Pascal has non-cancerous mass removed, but set to play on Sunday. SB Nation story by Patrick J. Curry. By the way, that sounds like a great murder mystery detective novel's name. So I hope he markets that. But yes, Pascal is going to go out there. I'm guessing he's probably even going to start. And if that happens, let this also be something for your consideration. Pascal and both Smith, or Zadarius Smith, both played for Kentucky, so the Wildcats could be running wild on opposite edges out there. In fact, I would anticipate Pascal probably takes over against the right tackle, with Smith probably going up against the left tackle. I think that's going to be a pretty formidable defensive front, both against the run and against the pass, with obviously DJ Reader and Lee McNeil in the middle. So what do you guys have to say about that front, if I'm correct, or do you think the Lions should go with eventually Smith and maybe, I don't know, Levi Onsarike or somebody else? I guess there's a lot of different options there. Let's see what you guys have to say about it. Last of the 5 headlines now. Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson will reportedly be very selective if he decides to leave Detroit. 3 teams who make sense. This is from CBS Sports, story by Brian Diaro. I think we all get it, man. It's all a guessing game if he's going to leave or if he isn't at the end of the season. He's obviously had some interviews the past 2 seasons. Ben Johnson has. He hasn't left yet. We do hear more and more reports that part of the reasoning is because his wife and kids do not want to leave Detroit. They really like it here. They feel comfortable with it. I guess it's also, something to consider. Maybe Ben Johnson doesn't want to be a head coach. Maybe he likes the ideas, but unless somebody's going to really wow him and get the wife and kids to say, yeah, we need to go, maybe he is going to stay. I don't know. To me, this feels like more of a topic in the offseason once the season's done. But I do think we all get it. Lions have a top 5 offense. They got a top 5 defense. They've been the favorite of the NFL's for about the viewership and national media for a couple years now. Aaron Glenn is doing a phenomenal job of the defense. He's going to get some calls. He's going to have some people want to interview him like he did last year and the year before. So will Ben Johnson. Will either one of them leave? Will both leave? Wait and see. But I guess if neither one of them are sold on the opportunity, I have to assume Sheila Hamp is going to do what she can to retain these gentlemen and probably make it worth their whiles. All right, let's get done with the 5 headlines now. Like I said, we got Kurt Steele at the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and get over to the main topic today, and I think it's a juicy one. There'll be a lot of debate about this one. There'll be people that say, no, he shouldn't. Yes, he should, but let's dive into it. All right, here's what I'm going to say, and this will be my take when we start this off before we go anywhere with it. And anybody who sees the thumbnail, and by the way, I get it. One of the things I've learned in almost 2 years of doing YouTube now is you can't make everybody happy. Yesterday, I put up a story about, and I'm sure most of you guys see it, about Isaiah Williams getting cut. I put Williams gets cut. I put his picture out there. I try to make it as big as possible. To me, I thought you could clearly tell the difference between him and Jameson Williams. I apologize. While I think maybe only 5% of the people who viewed the video commented in a negative fashion, some people obviously were less than happy with it. So I did, after I think it was about an hour and a half, when I figured out some people were less than happy with it, I changed the thumbnail. I put Isaiah Williams. I tried to make the picture even more clear for him. It's just one of the things with YouTube, man. You can't make everybody happy, and it's no different than if you're working for a newspaper. You do the best you can. At the end of the day, that's going to probably still not make somebody happy. So knowing that, with it being this thumbnail here today is probably going to make somebody not happy, and they're probably going to talk badly about my mama. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to report what was reported from 3 different entities yesterday or this morning. Aidan Hutchinson could return this year. Apparently, his healing is a little bit further along than anticipated. The time frame for this type of injury is typically 4 to 6 months. I can say over the gajillion years I've coached, I've seen people come back from a similar injury in just under 4 months. Does it mean that they should play? I'm not here to debate that. I'm here to just report the news. So all the knuckleheads want to come at me, that's one thing, but I'm not here saying Hutchinson should return. What we can say, and I'm just going to quote the Athletic in this instance, it seems like he's ahead of schedule, but as good a break as possible. And Dr. Alan Jones of Baylor Scott and White Medical Center of one of the best hospitals for the injury Hutchinson sustained, and doctors for the subsequent injury say he's well ahead of the curve. And that's a direct quote, the well ahead of the curve. So could it be, as both entities are reporting, and then I didn't see the full clip on Woodward Sports, but the doctor they have on there said it is possible for him to be back in under 4 months. If that holds water, many are suggesting that he could be back before the Super Bowl. If he's back before the Super Bowl, I'm guessing that means he's back somewhere around the NFC title game. I'm not here to say he should be back. I'm not here to say he shouldn't be back. I'm saying that it sounds like Aidan Hutchinson may want to be back before then, which means he's putting in the work, he's putting in the grind, he's doing whatever he can. He's obviously got some of the best medical staffs and programs out there on planet Earth to help him. He's 3 or 4 weeks from the surgery, so my guess is he's probably walking around to some degree by now. And yes, by Thanksgiving, he's probably not using crutches or anything. That's what, another 2.5 weeks. So is it possible from Thanksgiving to the end of December that he's back on a football field, or at least conditioning, things of that sort? Yes, I think it's highly possible. Now, I guess what we're all going to have to debate in this morning show, and the people that like it or hate it or whatever, if you're the Detroit Lions and the medical staff say early in January, the first week or second week, say, yeah, he's good to go, he can't hurt it, do you put him back on the field? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I am not that type of doctor. I can't handle that part. I can't answer it, but I would be interested to see what you guys have to say with it. I will say this as a coach. Here's what I would say. If I'm a coach of Aidan Hutchinson and the medical staff tells me he's okay, there's no clear, risk of him further injuring it, then I probably do put him out there. Is he going to start? Probably not. But I would probably put him out there, and I've talked about this before on Lions Talk Live. I probably put him out there on a pitch count, 10, 15, 20 snaps. If it holds water in the NFC title game that he can return and handle that type of load in a 15, 20 snap environment, now if he gets through that, any of the soreness, etc., he's got 2 weeks to get ready for the Super Bowl, and maybe at that point, you can take him from 15 to 20 to 18 to 25. And if he's getting 25 or so snaps in game, he's playing about half of what I would expect to be the defensive snaps in that game, which means he's probably doing okay out there. Would the Lions be better with him out there? Probably, on a pitch count. I wouldn't have him out there full time. But I do think Hutchinson is going to, and I can only speak from myself as somebody who's been an athlete or been a coach or whatever, or been around. If you're an athlete and you know how rare these opportunities are to get to the Super Bowl, to win the NFC or all that stuff, you're probably going to do everything you can to be out there. He's probably even going to have a little bit more pep in his step to go through recovery, do everything he can to help his body heal, get right, and get on the field. Why? Because the rare opportunity that is before, apparently, the Detroit Lions. Let's be real honest. I don't care who it is watching this show right now. This is the best Lions team any of us have ever seen, unless you're, I guess, in your upper 70s or 80s where you can remember some of the 50s teams. But even if that's the truth, then it's been a real long time since you've seen a team like this. And I did a thing with Herman Moore yesterday on his show, and I basically pointed that out, that the 90s Lions teams had some good teams, but nothing like this. And I'm not here to debate why it wasn't like this or not. But where I will say is, I think most athletes and coaches would say, we can't promise this will ever happen again. As good as we appear to be for the foreseeable future, still putting this kind of season together and getting there, that's going to be a challenge. That's a grind. A lot of things can change between now and then. Injuries happen. So if I'm Aidan Hutchinson and I feel like there's any real chance to get out there, and I'm not going to really risk further injury, that would have to be the clear thing from the medical staff, then yes, I think he's going to be out there. I think he's going to play some snaps, and I do think he's going to help impact the team. Him in certain situations, opposite Zadarius Smith, along with, Ali McNeil, along with DJ Reader or whoever else they put in the middle on passing downs. I think that would be a fearsome foursome going after Lamar Jackson or, Patrick Mahomes or whoever you face in the Super Bowl, let alone whoever you face in the NFC title game. All right, there's my updates on it. Again, you can check this out from The Athletic. You can check it out from the New York Times. And yes, you can check it out. Like I said, Woodward Sports had something up about it. But yes, he could possibly return this year. Again, check it all out. Come to your own conclusions. Don't be a knucklehead and say this, that, or the other thing. Draw your own conclusions. I believe in all of you guys that you'd be able to do it. But I do think this is a real opportunity for the Lions to get to the Super Bowl. So as a coach, I also get why Aidan Hutchinson would want to be out there. The final factor here is Hutchinson himself. He's the one of the hardest workers this reporter for The Athletic has ever covered. Those at Michigan were blown away by how quickly he was able to return from a fractured ankle suffered in college. It speaks to the way he attacks his rehab. This is all a direct quote. That leads me to believe he'll do everything in his power to play in the playoffs. Should the Lions make it there. So go with your own conclusions. I think what we can all say in universally, whether you want him to play or not, we all probably agree Aidan Hutchinson is somebody who's just wired a particular way. I often refer to him as being like Bruce Smith. I have no doubt if Bruce Smith was in the same situation with the Bills, he would have done everything he could to get on that field, even if it meant he wasn't fully 100%. Maybe he was like 95%. And I think Aidan Hutchinson is no different. Now that he's probably fully walking around, at least to a certain degree, I have no doubt in the next 2 weeks or so before Thanksgiving, when they say, hey, you can get off the walkers and start a little bit of rehab work, he's probably going to attack it aggressively. And then you get into December, throughout that month, he's probably attacking it incredibly aggressively. Same with early in January. I will not in any way, shape, or form be surprised if we do see Hutchinson in the playoffs, at least some portion of the playoffs. All right, Duke Crew, what say you guys? We got about 8 minutes until Kurt the Hitman Steele gets over here, so let me scroll up to the top of the screen. Again, have your own thoughts. You don't have to have mine, but be respectful of all. All right, Michael D, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew, exclamation points, Superdome, Super Bowl, One Pride, woo, woo, and good morning to you too. JDC, morning all, back at you. JDC, tick, 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 it's woo time. Yes, it is, sir. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Hutch is not a normal human. I see Super Bowl, woo, yeah, and I've talked about this before, having been a scout overseas, and watching guys intentionally have their bodies, limbs cut into, just to grow the arm an extra inch and a half. The same with the legs. I can personally say, this is one thing I guess I can say. I can personally say I've seen somebody do surgery to walking in the same day. And again, in certain terms, and back on the playing field in less than 3 months. So do I think it's fully possible with Hutchinson having even better medical staff and training? Yeah, I think it's possible he can be back under 4 months. So I can only say that from my own opinions, and that's with bone having to grow 2 to 3 inches to take up what the person trying to do by lengthening their limbs. That's a tongue-tied twister there. Michael, prayers, Lions, thumbs up. I'm down with that. Johnny L, good morning to all you do crew maniacs. Let's get this started. Go Lions. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, Sheila, woo. You want a Sheila woo? I'll give you a woo. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I got to find it. There we go. Let's see, Johnny L. Yeah, I love it here. We love having you here, my friend. Johnny L. JDC, missed you yesterday. Yeah, where are you at, JDC? Shamir, that would be definitely a game changer. I think so, too. I mean, you still got a lot of time between here and there. A lot of things could go right for Hutch. A lot of things can go wrong. What I can say is I have no doubt he's going to probably work at it and do everything he can to put himself in his as favorable position to return as he possibly can. And I don't think anybody watching the show would disagree with that, but maybe somebody does. Robert, greetings, and back at you. Destin, good morning. Yes, he should, if cleared by doctors, limit his snaps, possibly put a claim into getting Yankee, would help with your rotation, and keeping his snaps down would help with pressure. Yeah, I'm with you there. So I think if I understand you right, you're saying, Hutchinson on basically a snap count, keep it limited. I think you're right there. Then he'd be fine and no problems there. All right, and see, JDC, Johnny L, I worked that day in the morning. It happens, man. We all work somewhat. Rich, good morning, Dooku. Lions 34, Texans 14. Woo! And you know what? We'll have the full breakdown video, prediction video tomorrow. And then, as you guys know, on Sunday, we'll do the morning show, and then we'll do the live cast that night. So there you go. JDC, Hutch is like Spielman. They live, sleep, eat, breathe, and bite kneecaps for the love of the game of football. You're not wrong. And for those who maybe aren't aware, I think what JDC is referencing, Chris Spielman played with a completely torn or ruptured pectoral muscle. I want to say it was 93, but it could have been 94. I mean, don't hold me that. It's somewhere right around there. And it got so bad, if you guys aren't aware, if you're not old enough or whatever, they had to drain like a liter of blood from it. I want to say every couple days. But he just said, I'm going to keep playing. And he played well. He played in a Pro Bowl type status. So people say people can't do something. A lot of that comes down to the individual. I personally think, from what limited knowledge I have of Aidan Hutchinson, I think he's going to be back, like I said, probably the NFC title game. Could it be before that? Who knows, man? I would say before that really is pushing things, but who knows? Maybe he's got some Wolverine healing factor in his blood. Robert, Lions 38, Texans 13. I'll go with that. Lion-O, greetings salutations, Dew Crew from the tip of the mitt, exclamation point. Hutch returning would be great as long as they don't rush it and do more harm than good. 31-20, Lions, Lightning and Thunder, Cats, ho! Yeah, and again, it all comes down to what the doctors say. Doctors say he's good to go. Then you know what? Then it's his call. Papa, it would be wonderful to have him return as long as the doctors inform. All this is no problem. Yeah, I agree with that. Go with what the docs have to say. Johnny L, Sonic and Knuckles, Thunder and Lightning. I predict a serious storm front in Texas tomorrow night. Woo! I'm down with that. And good morning, by the way. JDC, smiling and thumbs up. Michael D, the Texans have a darn good defense. It would be a challenge for our offense. They do, yeah. And I know Anderson is going to be a little limited because of injuries. I don't know the full extent. I haven't really dived into it that deeply. But then again, he's going to be going up healthy or not against Penei Sewell. I've got a lot of faith with Penei Sewell. Just greetings, salutations, Dew Crew. I have a beef today. I wake up and see Coach put a video out yesterday on Isaiah Williams being cut. Shows Isaiah's photo, which clearly shows 83 on it, yet some yell clickbait. Hey, that's the life of a YouTuber, man. You can't make everybody happy. I do the best I can. I went in, I changed the thumbnail to try to make some other people. I get maybe, some people didn't look at the jersey number. You do what you can, man, and that's, at the end of the day, all you can do. Just how it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Bruin, happy Friday from the tip of the mitten, exclamation point. 2 more sleeps until the next Lions W. I like that one. That's a good one. Bo, I'm right there with you, Jess. There you go, and thank you for that. Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. Sheila likes a woo in the fresh morning dew. How about a shot of that fresh morning dew and a big Sheila? Woo! Man, everybody likes the Sheila woos. Ask and he shall receive. Jess, this is why I could never work on some place like YouTube. People are crazy. Hell, the title even says Isaiah Williams and people going off. Well, to be fair to those that were upset with it, originally I put surprise cut. So I didn't put breaking news. I didn't put a big banner on there like, hey, update or something. I just said, hey, surprise cut by the Lions, Williams, and then I put his picture right next to it. I thought it was clear to see it was an 83 and not a 9, but some people maybe don't look at the picture is what I learned from it. So I put Isaiah and I corrected it. And I think it was like, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. The video had been up. I went out, I put the video up, went out, showed some houses, came back, and I saw it wasn't many people, but there was probably like 3 or 4 that were less than happy. So I said, hey, I'll fix it and put Isaiah in there. And after that, nobody complained. So, I fixed the problem. How about that? Chew, I want him too, but I say no because I don't want him getting hurt again. Yeah, I get it, man. But I guess the thing I would say, Chew, is let's say he doesn't play and then he comes back in the first game next year or something, or in training camp he gets hurt. It's just, man, football's so violent and the things just happen. None of us can guess. It's just tough. I guess what I would say is if the medical staff say, hey, he's good to go and he wants to go, I'd probably let him go. But, again, like you're saying, nobody wants to see him get hurt again. All right, a couple more here, and then let's get Kurt Steele on here. Jameer, let's get this one. I like the way you're thinking. Steve, good morning. Coach Dan and the Scooby-Doo crew, exclamation point. If Hutchinson returns this season, what would that would be amazing. I thought Levi's comeback was miraculous, but this would be off the charts, exclamation point. Go Lions. Woo! I concur with your assessment, sir. JDC, Motor City Dew Crew, always rocking in the morning. Bo, the Bo Plan man is back. Yes, he is. Maybe Isaiah Williams clears waivers. Yeah, I hope he does because I really like the kid. I also get, he's still learning things and progressing. All right, let's get over to our special guest of the day. He is the wise, he is the infamous, he is worldwide renowned and known. How about all the above? You guys know him, you love him. Our special guest of the day. Kurt Steele, question for you. What's it like being an international man of mystery?
Man, it is. I guess it's great, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. I don't know about that, but I've been a few places.
Yes, you have. So, let's talk about it. And starting off before we get into this stuff, Woodward Sports. I don't know the doctor's name, and I apologize. I know he had a video, or I think they do 1 or 2 a week with him, where he says, Hutchinson seems to be healing faster than normal. And then this morning, there's something in both the New York Times and then the Athletic kind of suggesting that Aidan Hutchinson might just be back in under 4 months. Under 4 months, I think, puts him back middle of January, maybe late January, but before the Super Bowl. Do you think there's any possibility he could be back by, the NFC title game?
Not sure. I'm not a doctor. Of course, I would love that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I would love to get him back like NFC Championship game time. That gives him a ramp up to the Super Bowl. Limited reps. Anything. I think the thing that for me, that looking at it from the outside in, and the 10,000 foot view, is that it was a clean break. There was no structural damage to any any type of like muscle damage or any type of veins or anything like that. So, no arterial damage. So you look at it. Is it possible? Yes. Would I say it's a 9 times out of 10? No, I probably would put it at about 5 or 6. But you look at it there's an opportunity. And would I love Hutch back? Absolutely. Am I counting on it? Absolutely not.
Right. And I think that's the big thing is, while a lot of people are talking about it and suggesting it could happen, we all do need to keep in mind there's a lot of things that would have to go right for him to return. Yeah. I don't know where you tuned in, but I was talking about it just from my experience as a coach. I'd want him to come out there if at all possible. If the medical staff says, hey, he's under no adverse effects here, there's no reasonable risk of injury other than playing football, which in itself can be a risk, for the NFC title game, for him to go out there and even only get 5 or 6 snaps just to get that emotional aspect out of it before, if the Lions were to win and go to the Super Bowl, where he's not coming in with all that nervousness, I guess you could say, for the Super Bowl for his first game back. So all right.
The one thing I will tell you is that he's going to work hard, and he's going to make sure everything is the type of work that he has. He's going to work hard to get back, be it this year or next year. So if is he able to get back this year, he's going to work his tail off to do that.
Right. And I know there are a portion of the fan base loves CJ Gardner-Johnson. Some did not. But what I think we would all be able to agree on is that dude put in some work to come back last year. And
yeah, he did.
Is it a different injury? 100%. But he overcame the timeline, I guess, in order to return. And that's one thing with athletes, especially when you see in a window of opportunity for something rare like this. Hutchinson grew up a Detroit Lion, so he's definitely aware, same with his family, of the history of the fact that, they've never made a quote unquote Super Bowl. How long, it's been 60 some years since they played for a title game. If he really smells that blood in the water where the Lions have a chance, I just think that's got to be fuel for him to, like you said, to work his tail off, do everything he can to get back. So I don't know, man. I could see it happening, but I also get we all probably need to say it's maybe 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
So let's move on from that. Let's move into this weekend's game. Detroit, 7-1. It seems like we've got at least a pretty good chance at winning. Maybe not, the greatest chance ever this weekend, but there's a reasonable expectation the Lions can go down to Texas and get a win today. If I was to ask you, what would you say is the biggest hurdle the Lions are facing in this matchup?
Themselves. Getting ahead of themselves, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that Dan Campbell and the leadership player on the team aren't going to let these guys look ahead. They're not looking ahead. The most important game is the game ahead of them. And to be honest with you, I don't even think it's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a challenge, to be honest with you. I think the Lions go up early, and they're going to dominate them. Like if you look at what happened with the Jets game last game, right? With them, our offense is clicking way better than the Jets offense. If they couldn't slow that offense down, and you look at some of the players they're going to be down on this game, I don't see it. And I'm not blowing I'm not blowing blowing it up like we're just going to roll over these guys. But I don't think that this game is going to be a problem for the Lions.
Okay.
They have them. The Texans. We haven't seen a team like the Texans, but the Texans haven't seen a team like the Lions. And ironically, one of my best friends growing up, he lives in Houston, and he's a Texans fan. He had a cousin used to play the team. He's lived most of his adult life in Houston, so he became a fan of that franchise when it started down there. So it's just kind of a natural thing. But he still likes the Lions, but the Houston's his team. But he picked the Texans because he's for the homer pick, but he's not sure of it. And if you look at how the Lions have been playing, the way the Texans have been playing, I don't see a loss right now on the horizon for the Lions.
I think
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all for the Lions. I see some tough games for the Lions, but I'm not seeing a loss on the horizon like anytime soon.
I mean, how far has the fan base come from where we were just 4 years ago to now, where we say, man, the rest of the schedule, we might we might sweep it.
I mean, it's possible the Lions can win out. I mean, I'm not saying that we're not gonna have some tough games. I think the games that worry me the most is Buffalo and probably the 49ers. Because you look at them, they're getting healthy. The 49ers are getting healthy, and just like we are, but we're getting healthy too. So our depth is going to be something to contend with. I mean, the first domino dropped yesterday with Isaiah Williams. It's like, some guys are going to be let go, but you look at they're not. Isaiah Williams, I like the kid a lot, but I mean, was he contributing that much on the roster? Not really. I mean, he had a kick return the other day at Green Bay, but that was that's just because probably giving Khalil Dorsey a break because he had broke one earlier. So I'm not sure. I mean, I mean, I hate it for the kid, and I hope he comes back on the practice squad. But the Lions' depth is scary.
So let's talk about that real quick. And I know Detroit D and other people in the chat have asked it, and I've been questioning it since they announced Emmanuel Mosley and Iffy returned for their 21-day window. Broderick Martin's on week 2 of his. If all 3 of them make it, let's start with this. 1, who do you cut to bring those 3 back? And 2, how good, in your opinion, is the Detroit secondary now if Iman really returns to anything similar to what he did in San Francisco, and if he is anything like he was last year?
I think the first domino dropped yesterday, so of course Williams. I think that's the Broderick Martin move. The only other move I can see happening is the fact that we cut Parker Hess, and maybe it's Zane Shostra getting added because he's been elevated. He's already been 3 times this year, so they have to either sign him or keep him on the practice squad. But I like the fact that we can bring back Martin and he can be in that defensive line rotation, because if you look at the 2 guys that were kind of playing interior have been pushed to the outside this year with Josh Pascal and Levi Onwuzurike. So you're going to need that extra body in that rotation in the defensive line in the interior. You got Mekhi Wingo coming back, but you look at it like, okay, now we needed to add that another piece. So you got Broderick Martin and Mekhi Wingo playing that second group, and then you can rotate them in and out for Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader, excuse me.
Okay, so let's now.
And I'm sorry. And then Strickland is the guy that I can see on the fence, and maybe Vildor.
If you had to pick between the 2, who would you go with? I know I love Strickland, man. I think that kid's got it, but I also get, man, that safety room's getting. I mean, the entire secondary, corner or safety. You got a lot of depth there.
Actually, I think it's. To be honest with you, I think it'll be both. I think it'll be both. Just because of the fact that if you look at when when BB went out got kicked out the game, who came in? It wasn't Strickland. It was
Right.
Bijo.
Right.
So, and then you look at if you got to choose between Emmanuel Mosley and Vildor, who you picking? Be honest with you.
I mean, my only worry, it's going to be every Lions fan. My only worry with Mosley is just the durability.
The injury.
Obviously,
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if he goes up, you can just swing Iffy over there to the corner because he has experience playing corner.
This is true. Very, very true. All right, let's talk about the offense because they might be the league's best offense, if not they're one of the best. So Jared Goff just putting up numbers, it's almost like Madden. He can't throw incompletions. So if you're the Texans, what are you doing to try to slow him down? Because you've got to get to him to slow him down, and it's been tough for anybody to get to him consistently throughout the games this year.
Well, getting out my rosary beads, saying a few prayers. They're going to have to use their speed to kind of try to get to him. That's the only thing they can do because they're an undersized defensive line. They're not a big group up front.
No, they are not.
Our offensive line is huge up front. So they're going to have to try to use their speed. But they're not, to be honest with you, I don't think they're fast. I don't think they're as fast as the Titans defensive ends.
I think that's a good comparison to the Houston to Tennessee.
Yeah. So, I mean, once you get those guys settled down in that pass protection, man, it's going to be hard to get to Goff. And it's really going to be hard to on that second level, as far as if our basket hit that second level in the run game, man, it could be a long day for that Houston defense.
So, I mean, talking about the Houston defense and comparing it to our defensive line, and you've watched the show. I know I bring this up all the time. In my opinion, part of the reasons that the Lions coaching staff do not want smaller defensive ends is because basically what we're talking about with Houston. You got some undersized guys that if you have a bigger offensive line, you can really wear them down over the course of probably the first half or maybe the first three quarters with the run game because you can keep blasting them. Do you think Detroit, Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell specifically wanted bigger teams to try to limit the run game and force them more into passing games situations?
Yeah, I believe it's just a system that the AG plays. He likes the bigger defensive ends. And I think that's a reason why some of the guys that all the fans wanted weren't a good fit for the Lions of their defense. Max Crosby's, he's 245, 250. That we want defensive ends that are like 265, 270. We want those bigger, thicker guys that can set the edge. He's a Sam linebacker in this system. He plays in a 3-4. Lions play a 4-3. They want bigger, stronger guys on the defensive end position. And that's what we got when we got Zadarius Smith. We got a bigger guy who can set the edge. He can rush the passer, but he offers more in the run game than a guy like a Max Crosby. The other guy that would have fit perfectly would have been a Myles Garrett. So you look at his size, but the guy from New York, he's not a good fit. Aziz Ojulari, wasn't a good fit, outside linebacker at the most. And then the one guy who kind of like they kicked the tires on, but probably wasn't a good fit for the character of the team, which was Carl Granderson down there. He's a bigger guy, but he has some of that. He had some legal troubles, and I don't think that the Lions would have really pulled a trigger on that guy. They kind of saw what was going on with him, and it's been some years, and I can't say that he was not really rehabilitated and he hasn't, fixed his life. But you look at the background of what happened with him in his legal situation, I just don't think that it was a good fit for the Lions.
All right, so final thing I got for you, because I know you got to get ready and stuff, but you look at this weekend's contest, I get, like you were saying earlier, it's going to be tough to find losses, at least easily predictable losses. But the Lions get off the plane. Your final score prediction for this weekend, what do you think? Is it a 10-point win, a 3-point win, a 40-point win? How close of a game do you think this could be for the Lions?
I think it's probably about 34-21 Lions, so around that area.
Okay. Well, again, Kurt, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out? Tell everybody about the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast, all the awesome work you do, and all the great shows you guys put out.
Yeah. You can catch the Boss Up Ball Out podcast over on our YouTube channel or on the Kurt Steele Facebook page, or you can follow the show on my Twitter feed. And you got some great shows coming up. We go live on Tuesdays and Fridays, recorded shows Mondays and Wednesdays, and another recorded show on Saturday for our prediction show. So come check us out, man. Me and the fellas, Coach Mike Jones and LL. But today I have a special guest on the live, so make sure you tune in and see what's going on over on the Boss Up All Out podcast coming up at 8 o'clock.
All right, we'll catch you out then.
Hey, we'll see you
Thanks,
guys.
Kurt.
See ya.
All right, let's get back to the Duke crew. Hey, Broski Bear, Dan is at it again. There is no chance Hutchinson is able to return for the playoffs. 0. But it's a great, accurate thumbnail, Danny Boy. Well, Broski Bear, I guess, I am not a medical doctor, so I did make that apparent that this is coming from Woodward Sports, the New York Times, and The Athletic. So, Broski Bear, I guess you are a medical doctor is what you're telling me, and you know more than the medical doctors they talk to at all 3 indices. So this is good to know. Let me know when I can send you a link so we can bring you on to give us your expert medical opinion. I can't wait for that one. All right, Courtney, what do you got? I know he wants to get back on the field. His dad being an ERMD. This is true. His Hutchinson's dad is. Dad and mom. Well, Chet, I think he plays in January. I think he's going to work his tail off to get out there. Now, again, does that mean he gets back? I don't know. Right now, I just thought it was the topic for the day because you do have multiple different areas talking about it. So go with that. And, hey, draw your own conclusions. I'm not here to steer you one way or the other. I'm here to present the evidence and let you come up with your thoughts on it. All right, Zoom, I do not want him to rush. Make sure to rehab it the right way. 100% with that. And the Lions, let's be fair. Lions are going to have a lot invested in this guy for the foreseeable future, probably the rest of his career. I don't see him leaving Detroit. So they're going to make sure everything is out there for him to come back if he can achieve it. If not, then you know what? They keep him on the sidelines until next year. Don, yeah, I don't see Hutch coming back at all. Fair enough. Silver Server, they couldn't understand that he was Isaiah Williams with a big writing and number 83 police. It is what it is, man. I mean, YouTube is just... it's a different beast. And, I can't say when I worked for different, TV stations or newspapers that you don't ever have stuff like this, but it's just, YouTube is a different platform. We'll go with that. Or just online streaming, whatever you want to call it. Mo, I've never seen his name in print. My bad. All signs point to him being their heir apparent to BJ. I don't see Brad Holmes bringing in someone from outside. Yeah, I'll go with that 100%. TCKG, I think we all know if we make the Super Bowl, he would want to play. He loves Michigan and the fan, and he wants to make history with the team. I agree with that. 100%. And I think we all get Hutch is wired that kind of way. Brosi, your mama has a peg leg with a kickstand. Oh, well, all right, fair enough. Well, it's good to hear about your mama. Almost. And once again, Broski with the PhD. Yes, I'll go with that. Broski, Captain Clickbait, a.k.a. Thunder Dan, is at it again. Amazing. Broski, all I guess I could say, man, is you just hate on so many different things. You must live the most miserable life in humanity. But then again, if you don't like the stuff, why are you here? I guess that would speak more to you than anything else. Let's see, Rob, Gold Lions, 31-17. All right, your mama is a Bears fan. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. One Funky, I broke multiple bones. The longest took me about 10 weeks to be back to normal, and that was my wrist. The worst injury I had was a tendon, and that took 8 months to be good. Yeah, and I think that's when people are speculating, it seems to be the universal thing. The doctors, the actual medical people are saying why he could return faster. Because there was no nerve damage, no blood vessel damage, no muscle damage. It was just a bone break. And not that a bone break is nothing, but it was as perfect a situation for him to be go under the knife and get surgery to clean it up, and then B, for a time frame for healing. So, Broski, I know I'm not a medical doctor. That's not my educational background. But like I said before in the show, me and my coaching experience, watching guys get their legs cut overseas so they can grow 2 or 3, or in extreme circumstances, 4 inches of new bone, they're back on the court, basketball, playing, running up and down the courts in under, well, I will just say around 3 months. So I can't speak for Hutchinson. I'm not his doctor. But I can say personally, I've seen multiple different people do that. And if they were going that type of bone and back out there and playing basketball, jumping up and down, and it's not contact directly in basketball. But if you're able to do that in lesser leagues with lesser medical staff and facilities, I'm guessing there's some chance Hutchinson could be back this year. Silver Sir, what up, Mo? What up to you guys? Phil, best team in the NFL has ever seen, and it might be indeed the best team I've seen for the Lions in a long time. Sarge, right on down. Lions Roar, I'm down with that. Rob, my dad can remember the 57 Lions, but they didn't have a TV on the farm. Sorry to hear that, man, but hopefully he at least celebrated the win. Don Funky, damn man, what is up? You keep breaking bones? Question mark. I'm an ex-athlete, but geesh, yeah, that's some. He's had a few. Thomas, there's no one holding back. It's now or never. Did get the job done, Detroit? Yeah, get it done this year. One Funky, Hutch had a clean break with no ligament, tendon, muscle, or nerve damage. Correct. 100% with that. Johnny L, smash that button. If you would, please, hit them both. All balls, Broski is going to lose the bet to this of the century, and it doesn't take a PhD to figure that out. You know, Broski's probably going to go in hibernation around that time. Don, we're all doing it. Yes, Kim, Hutch's family came out after the injury indicating that he had a similar injury in college and quickly recovered. This is true. Trust Hutch and a professional team to make the right call. Fans don't have all the info. This is also true, and spot on with that, Kim. Phil, is there some sort of brace Hutch can wear to support his leg? I wouldn't be surprised if there is. I'm just, again, that's beyond me. All balls kick rocks, Brooksy. Yes, he's probably ate a few rocks. Phil, this is Hutchinson's second break on the same leg. I don't know if it's the same leg, but he broke his ankle in college. So maybe somebody else knows more about it. I watch U of M with my friends, but I don't pay that much attention to them. Let's see, Broski. Yeah, Phil, you can just wear a brace for a broken lower leg. Amazing. Well, Broski, by January, that leg is fully healed. That's what I don't think you grasp. Bones actually heal. And it's about, if I remember right from the math of the limb lengthening, it's about a centimeter and a half or something like that a day. So you can completely regrow an inch of new bone in under a month. I want to say it's something like 24 days. And that's why I was saying, guys that would go through the limb lengthening process overseas in China or the Middle East, some of them would be 3 inches taller and playing basketball in under 3 months. So let that sink in, dude. It can happen. Matthew, if a doctor says it's that he is okay, then I would let him play on a pitch count. Yeah, I'm with you there, Matthew, because this could be your only time in the Super Bowl. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it, 100% with it. Marcus, Lions Talk Live should form its whole beehive and go after the hater. JK, go Lions Talk Live. No, man, I'm okay with people hating, as long as they do it respectfully. So like with the thumbnail yesterday, I get, man, maybe some people just looked at Williams, and when I put it out there, I just didn't consider with 83 right next to Williams, I thought it was real clear who got cut. But again, you learn from it, you move on. That's why I went back in, like I said, an hour and a half or something like that later. I switched it to Isaiah Williams and still left the 83 there. After that, it all seemed okay. But you live and learn, man. Silver Surfer, Hutch will be back only if completely out of danger of re-injuring himself, 100%. But again, like I said before, in football, man, he could wait till next spring, and then the very first play of next season, something happened. Like, unfortunately, that happened in Dallas, and be hurt again, and it's just part of it. All right, see, Phil, Broski, it's be nice or you're out of here, 100% with that. Broski, all balls. I'll put my PhD skills against Captain Clickbait and Day, bud. Hey, I actually have a PhD, Broski. So if you want to mash up with it, feel free to, man. Anytime. I'm inviting you onto the show. Let's see, JDC, Broski, go read the writing of ancient Chinese word. Or go read the writing of Coach Dan and read Kajora. Shameless plug. Hey, thank you for that, though. that was awesome. One Funky Don, I played hockey and football growing up. Plus, I was that kid that would jump off the garage and pull and jump my bike over hills and stuff. It was very reckless. Hey, man, it happens, man. Lions fan, Detroit Lions fan, JMO should have a big game. I'm hoping so. In fact, Dan O'Damas is foretelling one. Sarge, watch our Lions with my dad in the late 50s. I hope you enjoyed it, man. That would have been great times. Bo piled higher on deeper. There you go. All balls. Well, it worked, Broski. You clicked on it. That is true. That is the other part of it. Broski seems to be oblivious to. JDC, I prefer nonfiction, non-fantasy. Kajora, what a joke. Well, all right. Well, it's incredibly well reviewed. Let's see, Michael. Hey, Broski, go back to the hibernation. I'll go with that. Christopher, let's get the Texans. Woo! I'm down with that. Let's go down there and beat them. All right. Let's see. Dan, what do you got? I can't wait for the Lions Thanksgiving game. It's going to be a good feeling when we wake up when we beat up the Bears. Thanks for the update, Dan. Anytime, man. Anytime. And yes, I suspect, much like after the Washington Commanders destroyed the Bears with one single swing of the bat, Broski will probably go into hibernating after that. Silver Surfer JDC is the funniest presence here. Poetic. There you go. Don Burr, One Funky sounds like a youthful childhood to me. Laughing out loud, I can relate. JDC, Broski Bear, duly noted. All balls. When Bears lose this week from another Mary, he will. He probably will. Manifest My Destiny. Question 8. Who are your playoffs teams in the NFC and seeding at the end of the season? Who would rise and who will fall? In my opinion, you're probably looking at Washington being in there, probably Philly, then probably the NFC North, other than Chicago. I think really Chicago is going to struggle, in my opinion. Oh, maybe they're wrong. Maybe they'll sweep out or whatever, but I think they'll probably miss. So I'll go with at least, all right, see, Detroit, Minnie, Green Bay, Philly, Washington, and then I guess the winner of the West, which, gosh, man, that could be anybody at this point. Johnny L, name Sergeant, how old are you? We'll find out. Hook it to PhD, sure, broski, just like you played college ball. This is probably also true. JDC, broski, yep, Lions Talk Live, and the song Piano Man in your thoughts, or you're watching the Bears. That's true. Yeah, Tim Patrick's terrible, and David Montgomery's no good. So still laughing at, yes, indeed. Don Allballs, if the Bears lose to another Hail Mary, that would be epic and hilarious. We might have to put in some sort of video for that. Let's see. William, if he is completely healed, I would let him play. Yeah, and again, at that point, it's probably his call. Sarge, too dang old. Johnny, can you say, all right, One Funky. Don, your entire body hurts now, too. It happens. Sarge, 80s, okay. Well, hey, my mom's 80. Gosh, what is she now? 88? Yeah, so, hey, right around there. All balls, you're here to add your 2 cents. I believe nobody cares here. I'm down with that. Reality Mike, woo! Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully Florida is treating you well. Johnny L. Sarge laughing. All balls, I suppose you still believe the Bears are going to win the North. Yeah, we'll see. Not one fucking, I haven't had as many injuries as you, but I've had my share. Exclamation point. What helps me is still live a very active as far as working out, etc. Yeah, 100%. Jen's big on that. You know, I try to stay fairly active. All right, guys, we've got about 3 minutes, so let me try to go through the comments, try to get people who haven't been in here. Sorry, I've been kind of talking a little bit more than normal, so that's on me. Mo, I live for more. Sheila, woos! I'm down with that. Phil, I'm sorry to see Isaiah Wave, undrafted player who worked very hard. Hope we keep him. I hope we can, man. Let's see. JDC, I am a click masturbator. There, all right, fair enough. Big D, I was very clear. It was Isaiah. I do the best I can, man. We'll put it that way. Don, One Funky, even something from a brisk walk helps. There you go. Hookadoo. Morning Man of Steel. Derek, it would surprise me if Isaiah Williams clears waivers. Yeah, I like the kid. I think he's got some real potential, so I could see people grabbing him for sure. Bo, daily walking, squatting, and stretching. Got to stay in shape for shooting. All right. Boo. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Pretty classy of Martin to give up his number like that, 100%. And I don't know if Smith gave him any kind of incentive, maybe bought him a few Mountain Dews or something, but it was real nice of him. Let's see, Michael, America's back, Jack. Get used to it. Okay. Let's see, Bo, Texans, just like every other team, will have their mad minute early. After the emotional start, we wear them down. I think so, man. And I think we're going to be running the ball on them a lot to wear down that line. Rondo of North Carolina. Dan, you do a great job. Always appreciate your insight. Don't worry about the, quote, Williams thing. However, the Dan O. Lamos. There you go. I'll try it, man. Let's see. Who else has been on here? Who else? Johnny L. I love this. Love you too. Sarge, 16-1. We'll take that. All balls, amazing. Broski is still here. You know, he's got nothing else to do, I guess. Michael, just saying Lions 16-1 plus Lombardi this season and next. I would be way okay with that. Just Hutch needs to prioritize his well-being. Of course, he needs to get medical clearance, but he needs to be his best advocate. 100% there. No doubt about that whatsoever. All right, Sarge, I don't see losing a game on the schedule, but I don't expect to win out. Yeah, my guess is maybe we lose 1 or 2 more, but that's probably about it. Let's see, Johnny, Buffalo Bills scare me. Yeah, they've got some abilities. Jess, Niles, 49ers are getting healthy and getting players back. Yes, they are. Doug, would be interesting to compare a 53-man roster pre-camp to now. Okay. Let's see. Jess, divisional games are always a 50-50. The team knows each other well. Yeah, especially the second time around. 100%. Don Brosi, 10 wins. Where? Question mark. After the Pats, you probably win 2 more games. You lose to Pats. DJ Moore will be already walking off the field while Caleb is running plays. Yeah, Broski, that'd be one thing to be as neutral as I can be on the topic. It does seem like you have a lot of dissension starting to amass in the Chicago Bear locker room. Ryan, good morning. Don't be discouraged by those who haven't seen this show grow. We know you're not a clickbaiter, but put up the best information you can while under time constraints. Keep up the good work. Woo! Thanks for that, man. Thanks for that very much, Ryan. Avery T, do you think we should bring Matthew Betts? I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Try to put him on the practice squad or something, and then maybe if the situation rises, bring him up to 53. That's a good call there, in my opinion. Bo, 35-17. I'm down with that. Don Broski, we take 8 to 10 out, say 8, okay? Let's see, JDC, red, white, and blue. We care about you. Super Dave Osborne, American needs. There we go. Super Dave Osborne. He was a good dude. Mr. D, cool. Good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Any news on the waiver wire? None that I'm aware of, at least this morning. Cerebral, if Hutch is cleared to play, come play off time. I see him playing some snaps. The coaches want to see him get those plays off bonuses. Yeah, 100%. As long as he's cleared, he probably will get something out of it. Let's see, all balls, cheeks. I'm down with that. Mo, plot twist, Broski is really just Brad Holmes playing his villain persona. I'm down with that. Maybe it is. Boo, pretty cheeky, all balls. We'll go with that. All balls, all of it, 150. Okay. Shaft, Broski Bear, mother played nose tackle for the Bears in the 80s. Apparently, she took on the entire Bears team, from what I hear. Let's see. Great Lake State guy, a lot kinder than me, Coach. It happens, man. It happens. Roger, what is it? Broski, is that the ace guy from the Lions fan page on Facebook in the disguise? Could be. Kim, Broski just wants attention, ignore, and he will go away. I would agree with that. I really do think, and I mean this in the most polite way possible, I think really Broski Bear is somebody who has no social interaction outside of what he gets off of the internet. So he probably, unfortunately for him, lives alone and has nobody to talk to, which is why he's on so many Lions platforms seeking attention, because really at the end of the day, when he turns off the internet, he's staring at a wall. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I think he's on here intentionally so he has some form of human interaction. All right, Derek, breaking their legs so we can grow tall. Yes, they basically just cut them. When they have long legs and short arms, not everybody, but a lot of them do both. And, there's different things that go into it. A lot of guys, and especially in something like basketball, they're really only worried about their height. Really, if you add 2 or 3 inches to your bone. So if you're a basketball player and say you really want to try to make the push to get to a higher league and your club's going to invest a lot of money into you, I don't remember exactly what it costs. In the States, it costs, I want to say, about $90,000 to have your limbs lengthened. Overseas, it can be like $30,000, maybe $20,000. But yeah, it takes about 24 days or something right around there to grow an inch. And so a lot of guys, they get it done, because the difference, be honest, between a 6'1" dude and a 6'4" dude, or a 6'7" guy and a 6'10" guy, that's a lot on a paycheck. Dr. Trey, I'm not counting on it. I don't think anybody should count on it, but wait and see what happens. Waylon, Brosi is just upset the Bears are 0-4 against the winning teams. They are, and he probably is. Corey, there really isn't any rehab for either, because no ligament damage, so it was healed. It's healed. Yeah, agreed with that. Dimitri, Broski Bear, get the heck out of here and go to your Bears hole. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Phil, there is a Cat 5 hurricane heading to Texas this weekend. Hurricane Jared. Ooh, I see what you did there. Chuck E. Cheese, the Bears are hibernating already. It sounds like that locker room is destroying itself. Dimitri, Don Burr, what up, though, Detroit? Brian, good morning, and Duke Crew and fans. What jersey is the $1 million question? That I don't know what we're wearing this weekend. Del Broski's hot pocket was cold this morning. The world's internet tough guy. He is indeed just that. Bo, happy trails, all Duke crew, all done and dusted for another day. See y'all tomorrow. We'll see you then. DJ, don't count the Cardinals out of the playoffs. That's a good point. They are playing pretty well, so maybe that's who will win the West. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Patrick, greetings, salutations, late today, overslept today. My mom is 101 this last September. Just saying, it would be great if Hutchinson could return. We'll see you if you can, and tell your mom happy belated birthday. Dr. Troy, fair, we will have, we'll save the Cardinals some seats at the Super Bowl. Okay. Patrick, if Hutch can make it back, I'd buy him a case of dew. It could be the dew that helps him heal. Dr. Troy, DJ, we're here with the DJ. Brent, happy trails, one pride. Dimitri, good morning. Dan, give me a woo. You want a woo? I'll give you a and there you go. Let's see. Chuck E. Cheese, I don't want to win out. I'd rather lose one so we don't go into the playoffs. It was a 14-game winning streak because it could get bounced in or lose. Okay. Motor City Paulie, breaks heal stronger. Yes, correct. The new bone is stronger than the original bone. So the concern over a re-injury is ridiculous. The real concern would be hitting game shape and having an injury and other body parts because he has not been hitting for months. Correct. Yeah, getting everything ready. That's why, to me, if I'm going to get him out there, I want to get him out there on a pitch count in the NFC title game so he has at least a little something before getting to the Super Bowl. Waylon, yeah, that's the way you welcome someone to a team, giving up your number. Rarest thing of a team is there's never finger pointing, and it's nothing but unselfish guys. That's priceless. Yeah, I agree with you. A real classy move by Broderick Martin. Motor City, with all this AI, you'd think the talk to text would work better. Fair enough. And Mr. D, cool. Playing with Sonic and Knuckles on Madden right now. Enjoy it and good luck. Let's see, Phil, the entire Bears team. Wow, happy lady there. Let's see, Waylon staring at a wall. Classic. He could be, man. Here's Johnny. Prayers up for Hutch, number 97, to heal well, 100%. Dimitri, Michael, America's never went anywhere. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Chuck E. Cheese, if they stretch their bones, aren't their muscles looked disproportionate? The muscles, and ligaments can be stretched a little bit to a certain degree, and then over time they kind of acclimate to the body. And again, it's not my profession, it's not my area of expertise. I can only tell you it happens. I've watched it happen for it's got to be over 20 years now, and the science behind it has come a long way. It used to be, so like back in the day when I first encountered it, when they would cut the bone, they would put a brace on the outside, and yeah, it probably would take 4, 5, 6 months if you grew it 3 inches for that brace to come off. I mean, they would screw it in there, and then every day or something, you'd crank it, and it would space the bone a little more and more. But the science behind it has come a long way. Now it's an in and out operation or outpatient operation. They put a metal rod inside the bone, and now you have like a remote control. I mean, you're walking the day you leave the hospital, and you hit that button on the remote control every day, and it spaces the rod inside the bone out a certain amount, whatever it is, a centimeter, millimeter, I don't know. It's a certain amount where, again, you regrow an inch of new bone in about 24 days, if I remember the math correctly. And then they take the rod out at some point, and don't ask me when, it's toward the end of it. But guys are back out there having grown new bones, 1, 2, 3 inches, and playing basketball. And I'm sure it's true in volleyball and other sports as well, in under 3 months. So that's what I can tell you about it. All right, Patrick, I'm going to have backtrack to the chat to see where Broski Bear said he would tick everyone off. Yeah, he's up to Broski Bear stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and get you over to the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. Sorry for going a little overtime here. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, if you would be so kind, it is free of charge. Hit that thumbs up button, that like button. If there is breaking news later today and I can get to it, which I should be able to today, it's fairly light schedule today, I'll go ahead and get it over to you as quick as possible. Other than that, take care. Be a good human being. Don't listen to Broski Bear. And you know what? Hey, do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Happy trails to you until